Good morning. How are you? Welcome. Hello. Buenos noches. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It is the 18th day of August in the year of our Lord, Hello Kitty 2023. It is I, that handsome face without a trace, often imitated but never duplicated, your guy, the OGGM. And looks like it's going to rain. We are under an aerial flood warning yet again here at Site B. So for the rest of you who are suffering under fire warnings, if you want to take a break and come worry about getting flooded instead, I got the room here at Site B. Come on down. It's Friday. And I might be a little too caffeinated. And as you know, on every Friday for the past couple months now, we have been taking a look at the fallout from the January 2023 OGL disaster that Wizards of the Coast created, and all the companies who stepped up and said, I'm going to do something about this. You picked a fight, Wizards of the Coast, I'm going to come out swinging. As opposed to the ones who actually succeeded in doing this. Now we're into almost September, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We are now 9 months into the disaster. And of the many companies who came forward and said they were going to do something about this, well, basically only one actually did do something about this still. And that was Casey from Arcane Library with Shadow Dark. But the big one that came out was, of course, PAIZO. And as we start every Friday, we're going to talk about PAIZO's announcements for this week and what, if anything, is going on with the slow-moving forest fire that is the ORC today. Is it done? Is it official? Can we start using it? What's going on? I would expect that you would constantly be keeping us updated on the status of the ORC and whether people are doing anything with the ORC or not. Like Gallowspire. Is Gallowspire fall under the ORC? Is that the first use of the ORC in the wild? Because, you know, tons of people are making stuff for Shadow Dark already. They don't seem to have any trouble. But, yeah, we haven't seen anything for the ORC yet. Now, normally it wouldn't take this long for the Library of Congress to approve a copyright. Because literally it takes 2 weeks. And that was before computers. So I'm assuming it takes a lot less time. So, yeah. Any updates on the ORC? Any updates on the land of Pathfinder 2 and Starfinder 2? Let's find out. As of 7 seconds ago, we have the list of the authors who's going to be working on the next Pathfinder Society's Adventure Path, of the Pathfinder Society being the PAIZO equivalent of the Adventurers League, organized play for the PAIZO products, Pathfinder 1, Pathfinder 2, Starfinder 1, and of course Starfinder 2. And I guess there'll also be the Pathfinder 2 Remastered Core and the inevitable Starfinder 2 Remastered Core. So they have announced the authors. They've also announced the authors for the Starfinder Adventure Path for the rest of the year. That was announced 6 minutes ago. Okay. They have announced the latest collection of rules you would need to become a lore master. There is a mobile game coming out calling Pathfinder Lore Masters. Basically, it's a Trivial Pursuit lore game that they are making up. And they're, saying this is what you need to do to play the game. And because, again, nobody really... Got another article on High Helm, their book about dwarves. So we know they've been working on this one for a while. It's probably out, and they're doing a lot of support for High Helm. It's for a Pathfinder 2 adventure setting. We've got the announcement that Gallowspire Survivors is up for early access on Steam. We'll go live September 14th. We've already seen a little playthrough. Check out my video on that. Does anybody want to see me play through this? Let me know. It looks a lot like Diablo / Vampire Slayer. And then, of course, we have the Gen Con 23 recap, where we got all the news out of Gen Con 23, including the announcements of Starfinder 2 and how Starfinder 2 will follow the same build as Pathfinder 2. Not Pathfinder 2 Remastered, but Pathfinder 2. Now, some people were excited about that, but most people were like, no, leave Starfinder alone. In fact, yeah, So that is as of August 11th. As August 10th, nothing. August 10th, nothing. No, they're looking for volunteers for PAX Unplugged 2023. Starfinder 2nd edition is coming. That was announced on August 3rd. Ooh, welcome to Gen Con, August 2nd. Oh, the entire month of August, not a single update on the ORC. Not a single update on the ORC. I mean, even Games Workshop has a section every week where they post basically, even, you know, this week we have nothing to say. They call it the Games Workshop rumors section. And then they, you know, post a pit of art. That takes what, maybe 5 seconds for somebody at Games Workshop every week to go, well, we've got nothing to announce this week, but we still want you to know that we're aware of you guys. And if is something happening, we want to let you know. So we've dedicated an entire page to this. And sure, it takes Bob from editing 2 seconds to update it every week, but at least that's 2 seconds of Bob's time where he goes, nothing has changed from last week. Here's some art. You could literally give us that, Paizo. Considering how important the ORC could be, you could literally give us the, hey, we have nothing to say about the ORC this week. Here's some art or a joke or something. But no. And I'm sorry, it should not have taken this fucking long for you to make the ORC available. What if I wanted to use the ORC to print something right now? I still can't. You are falling behind. Nobody's really making third-party stuff for you guys because nobody knows where the ORC stands. Where is the thing? At least give us the thing. But I'm only going to use the thing if it's fixed, because if you guys remember, the thing as it went out into the wild referenced a game that did not in fact exist. So there was an example game that they were using in the printing thing. So in the label you would have taken to put on your product if you wanted it to fall under the ORC, referenced an example made-up game, which means under the way that the ORC was written, that example made-up game would be at the beginning of the stream. So any other game made under the ORC would be made under the copyright of the initial game listed as the example game in the ORC, which means, according to the way the trickle-down theory of the ORC worked, so hopefully they remove that, because otherwise a lot of people are going to go, yeah, no, can I change this? Because no, you're referring a game that doesn't actually exist. I don't understand why you would do that. So what's going on with the ORC, Paizo? Because right now it looks like nothing. And I don't know, does anybody actually want Starfinder 2 to be built under the same engine as Pathfinder 2 Remastered Core 3D? I don't think so, because 90% of the people I've spoken to are like, no, I wish Pathfinder 2 had followed the same build as Starfinder, because Starfinder is fucking amazing. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Are you already giving up on the ORC? I've had a couple attorneys tell me that the ORC is actually worse than you think, and it's probably better not to use it because of the things like the, well, there's some outright lies in the ORC, and the trickle-down theory doesn't actually work in practice. So, yeah. But it's probably the best we're ever going to get. But don't forget, you can still use the OGL. There's nothing saying you can't, no matter what Wizards of the Coast claims. There you go. What are your thoughts on the ORC Paizo Starfinder 2nd edition right now? Obviously, you can tell by the sarcasm in my voice, I'm not really positive. Like everybody else, we were waiting on bated breath. What's Paizo going to do? What's Paizo going to do? What's Paizo going to do? And then, okay, Paizo, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? Okay, Paizo, what are you going to do? And now we're like, hey, remember when you said you were going to do something? Well, it's been almost 10 months and you haven't done anything yet, and your competitors are kicking your ass. So, Shadow Dark? Till next time, I'm the OGGM. As always, open the floor to you. Let me know what you're thinking about Paizo and the ORC. Have you given up on it already? Are you still excited about it? Do you think it's the answer to January's issues, or do you just think it's another dim life buoy floating in the distance, and still Wizards of the Coast is going to find new and exciting ways to screw us, and Paizo are going to find new and exciting ways to screw us? Congratulations, Kelsey, for winning the OGL Wars. See ya.